So in this video, I want to talk about comedian Bill Burr and the joke he recently made about white women on Saturday Night Live.
Let's talk white women here, shall we? Let's talk white women. White women, amazing your accomplishments over the last few years. I got to tell you, the way white women somehow hijack the woke movement, generals around the world should be analyzing this. Just to refresh your memory, the woke movement was supposed to be about people of color not getting opportunities, the at-bats that they deserved, finally making that happen. And it was about that for about 8 seconds. And then somehow, white women swung their Gucci-booted feet over the fence of oppression and stuck themselves at the front of the line. I don't know how they did it. I've never heard so much complaining in my life from white women. My life is so hard with my SUV and my heated seats. You have no idea what it's like to be me. Trash and white guys, the nerve. Where's the camera? The nerve of you white women. Listen, I don't want to speak ill of my bitches here, okay? I don't. But let's go back in history here, okay? You guys stood by us toxic white males through centuries of our crimes against humanity. You rolled around in the blood money, and occasionally, when you wanted to sneak off and hook up with a black dude, if you got caught, you said it wasn't consensual. Yeah, that's what you did. That's what you did. So why don't you shut up, sit down next to me, and take your talking to? Thank you.
So you heard what Bill Burr had to say, and some white women did not care, which I'll get into why I think that is in a minute, but a lot of white women were not happy about it. They were crying about it all over Twitter. And one white woman in particular even said that Bill was just mad about all of the white women who dumped him. And as many of you know, he's married to a black woman. Her name is Nia Renee Hill. But when I saw that tweet, I said, wow, that sounds a lot like something black women would say in response to a black male comedian who's married to a white woman or a non-black woman but criticizes black women. And we know they do that all the time. Even if they're not comedians, black male entertainers will be married to non-black women but can't keep black women's names out of their mouths. And I know some black men are going to come up under here and say, he's in a relationship with a black woman. Why is he still worried about white women? He still wants a white woman. And I just feel like black men don't have the right to even say that. Maybe he's talking about them for the same reason black men date out and still criticize black women. And until black men stop doing that, you really just have no room to talk about Bill Burr doing it. I know I'll be accused of caping for white men for saying that. Listen, he didn't say anything offensive about me and my image. This is the white woman's fight. I don't understand some of the black feminists who are caping for white women, because I saw that on Twitter too. What are you doing? Anytime that a black male comedian comes out and compares white women to black women, or a black male entertainer does it, do you see white women jumping on him or jumping to defend black women? No, you don't. So I don't really understand the black feminists defending him. And see, that's to me where y'all just go too far with this whole thing. But I'm gonna get back to that in a minute. I'm gonna get around to the feminist part. Now, what I will say is that, ladies, if a white man or a non-black man you're dating always talks about their race of women and throws them under the bus and seems to be obsessed with them, that may be a red flag that he's dating you because he didn't get the woman he wanted in his own race. And those kind of men should obviously be avoided. But I don't think that applies to Bill Burr. I just think he's a comedian that's married to a black woman, and that makes him very sensitive of the black plight in America, and also sensitive of the plight of his biracial children that will be seen as black by white people and treated differently by white people. So in my opinion, he's calling out white women and white men on their behalf. And who knows, he may even get flack for being with a black woman by other white people. That kind of thing does go on in other communities. That does happen in other groups when a member of their tribe gets with a black person. They're not as accepting as we are of IR relationships. So Bill Burr, in my opinion, is protecting his wife and children against white supremacy and racism like a husband should, a good husband should. And let's be honest, he still went pretty easy on white women. He did not get up there and do what a lot of black men do and call white women ugly or negatively compare them to black women, even though he's married to a black woman. So he still was kind of on code. He didn't really go hard on white women like that. But a lot of white women are still very upset about it, which only proves that when white women are criticized by their men, they become just as quote unquote insecure, just as quote unquote bitter as black women. They react just like we do when their men criticize them in front of the world. And they care about their image and their representation and what people are saying about them, to the public. They care about that just as much as we do. So our response to criticism, ladies, is normal. And that's the point I'm trying to make here. Now, does this mean I think that black women should cry and boo-hoo and, go on rants every time a black man says something bad about us? No. But I am saying that your feelings of hurt and your reaction to that is valid. Okay. And this whole, oh, I'm so unbothered and I'm secure within myself and I validate myself. I don't need male validation. I don't care what they say about me. That is something that no other group of women lives by. And black women trying to be that way is completely unnatural. Now, I do understand that black women are doing that and saying those kind of things as a coping mechanism because of our position in society, because of what our men say to us and how they view us. So I totally get it. I'm just telling you it's not natural. And that is why I say, as much as they tell us to be quiet, as much as they tell us that we're too sensitive and we're insecure, nobody in this world could handle being a black woman and dealing with everything we get thrown at us. They would respond exactly like we do. And that's why every time this happens, I'm going to come up here and say it to prove to you that they respond just like we do when they get that same treatment or similar treatment. Just a fraction of what we get. Because be clear, white women got a fraction of the criticism black women get on the regular. And they're having meltdowns on Twitter, which only proves Bill's point. Now, the white women who did not get mad at what Bill said, in my opinion, are the white women who don't want to give up their position. They enjoy being provided for. They enjoy being the beneficiaries of white patriarchy. And they feel like white feminists are messing it up for them. Those are the white women who are playing the game, which I would say is over half. The 53% of white women who voted for Trump. That's why the reactions to Bill from white women are split down the middle. There will always be a critical mass of white women cooperating with white men because of the benefits they get from their patriarchy. It is what it is. So like it or not, what Bill said was true. And again, I'm not caping for Bill Burr. I don't agree with everything he says for the binary thinkers. I'm not agreeing with him just because he's married to a black woman. And I do want to touch on the misogyny part that some feminists were accusing him of, because that's why, some of the black feminists got all up in their feelings. And listen, I get it. I totally get it. And listen, white men are mad at white women right now. A lot of white men are. Bill Burr is not the only one. Many white men are getting tired of white feminists, and they feel like a lot of white women are ungrateful. They feel like they're spoiled because they're crying about a system that they largely benefit from and have always benefited from. Their men have conquered the entire world. They have put a system in place to protect them more than any other race of women on this planet. They've made them the universal standard of beauty, but they're still not satisfied. In the eyes of white men, that's what they think. And I get what they're saying, especially as a black woman who belongs in a group with conquered men who don't protect, provide, and produce. I totally get it. Many white women are extremely spoiled. They're ungrateful. They're untitled. They're oblivious to their privilege. And the feminists of today, of 2020, exaggerate their oppression like it's 1950 or something. So I totally get it. But I will also acknowledge that just because white men have built for them and given them more rights doesn't mean they haven't also abused their power as men and used it to harm white women. And I don't say that to cape for white women. I say that because men of all races have abused their power in many ways and still do. So by no means am I saying that just because men provide for women, that women should have to tolerate their abuse and their wrongdoing. That part I do agree with the feminists on. Men are necessary. They are important. but they aren't perfect. And women don't have to treat you like you're perfect and never question anything you do because you're providing for them. Just like women aren't perfect and above reproach just because we birth humanity. And I'm not equalizing men and women. We do very different things. I'm just saying that doing what we're supposed to do and what we're biologically hardwired to do, and doing what comes natural to us, doesn't make us exempt from criticism. That's all I'm saying. But Bill is right. White women today do exaggerate about their oppression. They have in the past, and they still do, help facilitate white supremacy with white men. They raise white male supremacists. They raised racist white men. And even white feminists uphold white patriarchy because they like the benefits that it comes with. This is why over half of them voted for Trump. A lot of them only take that feminism stuff so far. They don't want to give up their benefits under the system. And honestly, I expect white women to be selfish. I'm not even mad at them for that. I wish more black women would be selfish like them and put themselves first, which is what I'm trying to get through to black women on my channel. But y'all are so busy trying to kumbaya with them, like most of them care about your plight like that when they don't. And of course, this does not apply to all of them. Of course, you can have white female friends. Of course, it can be beneficial to have a variety of friends. Be friends with all races of women. My circle looks like the rainbow. So I'm not telling you to go to the extreme and hate all white women or non-black women. But you need to realize that when it comes down to it, they're going to put themselves first. These women are all about self-preservation. And you don't realize that they'll never unite with you to tear down a system that benefits them. A critical mass of them won't anyway. And why would they? So I don't expect white women to do that. But what I don't like is how the woke white women that Bill was talking about, they will pretend to be allies to black women when they know good and well they are looking out for themselves first and foremost. Like, don't piss on me and call it rain. Just be honest. It's very similar to what biracial women do. Oh, we're your sisters, but we take advantage of our privilege over you. Right? And again, I expect them to, but don't lie to me and tell me that's not what you're doing. We know that most white women are sneaky. We know that they are passive aggressive. They do their dirt quietly and in a very slick way. They give the illusion of being supportive when they're just as savage as white men. White women are actually very sneaky. They're very manipulative. They are not all angelic like white men portray them to be in the media. And it's very clear what they do, which is why I'm trying to get black women on that same shit. Move in silence and play the game like they do. Be passive aggressive. Be nice, nasty when it applies. Do your dirt in the dark when you need to. All of this rest in my femininity. I get the concept because black women are tired of fighting and, being on the front lines and tired of struggling. I totally get it. But listen, femininity is not passive. You think that stuff that white women do is always passive? No. You don't always get to rest in your femininity. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Putting yourself first and self-preservation, it's going to take some ruthlessness. You can't be passive with that all the time. So yeah, black women need to get more strategic and move a little bit more like they do. And I will say it's harder for black women because we don't have a group of men to help us paint a positive image of ourselves. Black men actually do the exact opposite. So black women, we are in a unique position. We are left to do it for ourselves, the best that we can anyway. But white women and white men are a team when it comes to white supremacy. They are in this together. Yet you'll never hear black men call that out. You'll never hear black men call out white women, but he'll blame everything on that evil white man, right? The white man. They'll act like white women are innocent. They don't have nothing to do with it. And even put her on a pedestal above black women. Never do I hear black men blame white women for teaching their sons white supremacy. That is something you don't hear from many black men. But you will hear them say how much more feminine and more submissive she is compared to black women. You'll hear them say how black women teach their sons certain things and how it's their fault that their sons are all messed up. But you don't hear them say that about white women. Have you noticed that? And like I said in the last video, black men don't even realize that when they're praising white women and non-black women, they're indirectly praising their men for making them behave that way. Black men, they have this whole cognitive dissonance thing when it comes to non-black women and their men, where they think that they can praise their behavior without putting their men who are responsible for their behavior or greatly influencing their behavior on a pedestal. It's very, very strange. White women are a reflection of white men. just like black women are a reflection of black men. So you can't separate the behavior and conditions of one gender without factoring in the other. White women hold the position they hold in society because the position their men hold in society, because their men put them there. And black women are in the position they're in because black men are in the position they're in. So black men need to remember that the next time they talk about the evil white man, and the next time they talk about how black women's net worth is only $5, you may want to look in the mirror. White women's net worth is what it is because of their men's net worth. And like Bill Burr said, they are on the same team when it comes to oppression and the system of white supremacy. Stop allowing the media, the manipulative media that they created, to make you think that there's some angels that rest in their femininity all day. It's quite the opposite. So yeah, that is all I have to say about this. Let me know what you think down in the comment section, and I'll catch up with you in the next video.